not only has the longest touchdown run in Air Force history, but now has the longest passing touchdown in Air Force history. How unique is that he has those two records in the Air Force record book?
It absolutely, you're right. It is unique, and I think especially when you look at the caliber of competition we played all year long, for that to occur, and that happens because there are other good things happening around you too. In both cases where you had a run that was exceptionally well blocked, and then a throw where there was good protection and a guy made a heck of a play, looking really back over the top of his shoulder.
What does it say about a team that could possibly go undefeated on the road this year in true road games? Does that say anything at all, do you think?
Didn't think of it till you just said it. You just put so much into your preparation each week. I think, really what has our attention to no end as it should is just the quality of opponent that will play this week. If looking at the film, if you said Nevada's 10-0 and there's a discussion between them or Cincinnati that may be right in the middle of, who should play in one of those New Year's Six Bowls, that's what you do see when you watch the video. And to have two excellent pass rushers, the one defensive end, Tristan Nichols, he's 6'5", great hands, great movement, has over 9 sacks already this year, and I think they're 7th in the country in total sacks with their defense. They're exceptionally old, and I'd love for you to make sure that it's a matter of truth or fact. I don't think you've ever looked down a starting lineup and seen more seniors or GRs, meaning graduates, than this team has. And like I said, if you can find one, I'd love to see who it was or when. And, then obviously offensively to have two exceptional receivers, which they certainly have. And the other one's he's a darn good punt returner too. So huge challenge this week, especially going to Reno.
And then Norvell, I feel like he's finally got that program where he's wanted to be, building it the past couple of years. Have you noticed that as well in terms of just trying to turn the program around?
Well, they've had quite a program for quite some time. You think of the years when they were exceptionally strong before they made the move to the FBS level, and then, goodness, I think it was only 10 years ago they were ranked like 11th or 12th in the country when they had Kaepernick. So they're committed, and I think one of the advantages that they have is they're certainly the proximity that they have to California. So the recruiting, aspect of it has been not just in football, but it shows in other sports, basketball too. You think back, it wasn't that long ago in basketball, and they were a top 15 basketball program and could be really, really strong again going forward.
Over the last 2 years, Carson Strong, I believe his touchdown to interception ratio is 55-11, so 5-1. Have you seen numbers like that? And then 2, what is it? Decision making? Is it accuracy? Is it the whole package?
Jesse, it's one. I think he does a super job identifying coverages. Clearly, he knows where the ball needs to go instantly. And then the other part of it, these guys generate massive, just large amounts of space in regards to separation. And, the one guy was a first-team all-conference player last year. He's 6'6", from right outside of Portland, from right there in Clackamas. And then the other receiver, just the numbers and the gigantic plays that he's put up, and also as a returner. And then he is pinpoint when the ball is delivered.
Jay told me in the summer he nicknamed Romeo Doubs Secretariat. He said most of the kids didn't even know what he was talking about. But with his speed and the way that he gets beyond safeties, do you have to make a conscious effort of where he is and when he would go deep?
All their receivers, just because of how multiple they are, the number of catches that they've already been able to accrue. But those two guys are easily next-level talents. And and then the other part of it, not only, he moves and he is long. You can adjust to a ball in flight. just his quickness in it. Like I said, I know I'm repeating here, but it's shown up on the special teams, the return part of it too.
How do you think Kenny Ngima made? Didn't play a whole lot this season, and then jumps in there, 3 tackles, involved in a sack.
Yeah, it was awesome to see, Jesse. I mean, he's worked incredibly hard. Last year we went into September, early September. We said, it looks like we might play a few games this year. Early in August, we did not know if we would, and then in September, and in our first major scrimmage right there about the 10th of September, there that second Saturday, he had an ACL injury, worked incredibly hard, strong student, wants to go to med school, and for him to get all the way back and to play as well as he did the other night, it was awesome. I mean, he's just big-hearted, diligent, caring, just tremendous young man.
From an accuracy perspective, how does he stack up with the quarterbacks you've seen over the past decade or so?
We've seen some really, really good ones, but he may be none better than no one that's more precise than Strong is.
Do you have to kind of rework your defense a little bit? Because I know you guys rely on a lot of single coverage and, kind of bring up the safeties for help in the run game as opposed to the pass game. Do you have to rethink that? I think back to the Armed Forces Bowl with Jared Goff and what he was able to do with that single coverage. Like, do you see a similar issue this
No
week?
question. I mean, I think that's a great point. It's ironic. I was driving in this morning and I got to thinking, golly, we faced something like this a little bit back in 2015 in December. That guy had a pretty fair day against us. And I thought our coverage was pretty good that day. There were probably about 7-8 throws where you thought we're within 18 inches of where the ball was caught. And I don't think that day hurt that young man. I'm trying to think where he ended up being drafted. It wasn't in the 3rd or 4th round. He ended up being the number 1 pick. This guy's good. Really, really good.
And these matchups have all been really close, or at least the past, 5, I think, all by a touchdown or a field goal. Is there a competitive juice in you that enjoys that, knowing that that's kind of what you might be able to expect because of the past?
Well, you don't. There's no obligation for that to be the case on Friday night. I mean, not one bit. I will say this. I mean, we've played in a few competitive football games this year. And but this is probably, well, it is. It's the most complete team that we've played so far this season. Just again because of their experience defensively, how agile they are up front, how well they play the run, and then they're tremendous on the special teams part of it. I mentioned the one returner, and then offensively it's kind of ironic. I don't know how we got this, but I saw in our staff room, somebody left a playbook, and it said 1999 Oklahoma offense, Mike Leach. And I thought, okay, did someone dig this thing up? I don't know how or where. And it may not be any similarities at all, but it made you laugh a little bit just because of the connection with what they do offensively.
And with your mind for stats, you could probably tell us all the rotation for the Orioles when they had 420 game winners. Does that translate at all to your own team? Like when you see Brad Roberts, what he's done, what he could do, do you know the top list of rushers in Air Force history? Would it matter to you to have one of your guys jump up there?
No, I mean, I probably could recall a couple. I know we had a guy here in 2007 that went over 1,400 and had 50 catches and led our team in punt returns, kick returns. There was a guy here in '89 that I think rushed for over 1,300 yards as a quarterback. They ended up going to New York City there in early December. And there have been other 1,000-yard rushers. We do not at all. That's just not something that's a consideration. Really what we do, we put a game plan together. We say, all right, how can each one of our guys factor into that particular game plan? And then truly once you get into the game, I mean, it all changes anyways. And so, carries may change, certain plays. They may play in a different look, and so I think you have to adapt accordingly.
And we talked about continuity the other night in terms of personnel. Obviously, you kind of you've settled in with some guys at the Z and and tailback. What about up front? How have injuries been affecting that past few weeks, and how are you looking right now?
You could go back and probably, Troy, we can all pull it. I mean, you start looking at the starters at different spots. I mean, there have been, I think, Everett's probably him at left tackle and Hawk at right guard. But those other three spots, I mean, there have been some guys that have been in there in different roles and different times. And yet that also can happen in football, And so what do? You do the best you can in terms of adjusting and those guys will all benefit from it down the road. I mean, they're pitching innings that we didn't know they were going to throw. But maybe in the future, I think there's some pluses to that, though, too.
You know your stats, Coach?
Yeah. You know what? There weren't many.
2 quick ones for you, Coach. One,
Yeah.
who runs the fastest 40 on the team? There was a video that came out yesterday that half the team had different people. Just wondering what's up.
No, because you know why? It's because you end up running it 2 different times that we time in the spring.
Okay.
Some we do both handheld, and then we do an electronic time too.
Okay.
And you don't play football in shorts and a T-shirt. That's not to take away from the speed part of it. And that's why really we do look at it. We do look at some measurables whenever we do evaluations. Maybe just certain length that maybe a guy has. Height, we do like to see, all right, is there some width to the shoulders? Just you look at him and say, all right, turn around. He's got a pretty wide back. That means he can probably add more weight. We like thick back sides. We may not quite say it that politely, but we do. And certainly you want to see movement also, but it's not only straight ahead. Football so much change of direction, short area quickness, agility, instant burst. And then the other part of it, can you play with some thrust and some power? Defensively, whenever we evaluate a guy, I want to see, especially if you're an up-front guy, I want to see where you have at least 2 or 3 tackles in high school where you collide and there's some knockback. You can't find a couple of clips that way in high school. It's probably going to be hard to find where that's going to happen, once they get to here. I think the other part of the evaluation would be, you like to see how well guys at the point of impact, how well do they play a block and how well do they maintain a block. And then the other part, just one-on-ones, because I might be really, really fast in the 40 and might think I have a faster 40 time than you, but you kind of get into my body and get in and out of a break a little better. And I'm, again, stuck on a rail so much that I can't plant and, change directions instantly. And so it's something we do look at, and it's fun, right? There's some pride that's involved in that sometimes. So, yeah.
Real quick, Mike Thiessen was nominated for the Broyles Award
Mm-hmm.
for top assistant. Any thoughts on the job?
Yeah, we input both Mike and John, and they both do really fine work. And they're guys that, golly, I mean, just the diligence, the thoroughness of their work, and are beyond deserving.
Anything changes this week? I know it's a short week, so.
Yeah, there have been. What we did, we probably got home, I'd say around 11:30, midnight on Saturday, and we turn around, the coaches came in first thing Sunday morning. Usually we don't come in till just after noon on Sunday, where we came in right away on Sunday morning, and we brought our players in on Sunday afternoon. Our NCAA calendar week mandatory day off this week is going to be Saturday. And so we brought the players in on Sunday and looked at film, did all of our install. We did some work in the summer because we knew it was a short week. But all that has to be updated, with personnel, new things that you see that they're doing. We did a few extra breakdowns last week, last Thursday. And And so it has been a different week. Yesterday, we went in helmets and spiders, which we usually do on Mondays, and then today we'll be in at least shoulder pads today. And it's kind of the forever balance of you got to make sure there's adequate recovery following your previous game, and yet at the same time we got to be a well prepared football team, and we'll get all the same number of reps that we do in any other week. It's just one of those days had to be a walkthrough rather than full speed.
And then that will probably stay the same next week. So it's another Friday game next week.
Yeah, next week though we'll roll into what our frequent game week is. It just bumps up one day just because you go Friday to Friday. So yeah, good question.
Zeke Daniels, the guy you block for majority of the time, not only has the longest touchdown run in Air Force history, but the longest touchdown throw in Air Force history. Does that surprise you at all? Like, how cool do you think that is that he owns those two records?
That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, he gets after it. I mean, we all do. Coach Getty, our training coach, and Will and John and Austin and I can't remember the fourth one. He's going to hate me for that. But we get after in the weight room, man. I mean, it's nothing but nonstop grind. When we came back on Sunday, we got after. We squatted. I mean, we got to pick our RPE, but we were squatting a lot. Like, people were getting after it. Like, there's no days off. It's gritty. And, Zeke, he works hard in the weight room. He does treatment every day. He takes care of his body. So that's not a surprise to me. He's a hard worker, and he deserves everything that he's got right now.
For you guys, I don't know if you know this, but you guys are undefeated in true road games this year.
Mm-hmm.
What has made that work for you guys? Why do you feel like you guys have been so successful on the road?
It's just day by day, week by week. We're always trying to be 1-0 each week. It's not, the end goal. It's the week goal. So we work hard every week, work hard every day. I'll tell you one thing. Our offensive line, knowledge-wise, is probably the best in the nation. We're every day. We've seen every defense, and we played against every defense, and we know what to look for. For Colorado State, we were going and thinking we were going to face an 8-man defense, and we ended up facing a 50 defense. And, I mean, it was just easy because we practiced it. I mean, Army was 50, so, I mean, we've seen everything. And I think that's why we've been so successful. We work hard, and the coaches work hard. Every time we come into meetings on Monday or like on Sunday, I mean, there was a quick turnaround. We went from being here at 11:30 to waking up and doing treatment at 11 and then practice at 2:30, and you come into the room, the meeting rooms, and it's filled. The boards are filled with plays and everything. I mean, these coaches get after it, and that's why our success comes from hard working, and our coaches know how to handle defenses and do their job.
So I'll ask about that because you guys are you're so used to a routine, right? Creatures of routine. Having a game like this week that's a day earlier, how do you get yourself mentally prepared for that, knowing that it's 24 hours in advance?
I mean, it's just like every other week. Sunday's a Monday, Monday's a Tuesday. So, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, but it's the same thing every week. You come in and you work hard, and work hard. Hard work pays off. So that's what we're doing, and we're going to keep doing that.
I know we asked Coach this. The offensive line, aside from maybe two spots, is really mixed around this year with injuries and everything like that. How do you feel like you guys have been able to be consistent?
The chemistry in the O-line room. Before the season even started, we met as an O-line, and we made some goals that we wanted to meet. And we've been working to achieve those goals. And I feel like the chemistry between the O-line and what we're striving to get is good. I mean, we all work hard in the weight room. We all talk to each other when we have time outside of just football. And mostly communication is big. So I had a little bit of trouble against Colorado State at the very beginning, reading the defenses because we practiced 8-man the whole week, and we ended up coming there with just a tight 50. So communication is big, and that's I think why we've been so successful, the chemistry and communication and hard work that we put into the program.
Benjamin, just in this brief time we've spoken to you, it seems like you really kind of appreciate being part of this program, and it almost sounds like you're glad you made the decision to come here. Is that?
Oh yeah, this is one heck of a place. I think that we're the hardest working team in the nation. I mean, we Coach Calhoun says it all the time. He says, nobody's ever worked harder than you guys. I mean, he's been around the block. He's seen plenty of teams, been on plenty of teams, and I believe him. I think he knows that we do work hard and we get after it. And I believe Coach Getty makes us work hard, and we want to work hard because he cares about us. So yeah, there's nothing like this program.
And how about for the O-line? Because it was so good last year. And then you guys come in and figure things out, build cohesiveness and chemistry and that sort of thing. Are you pleased with how well you guys have gelled and how you guys have not dropped anything when it comes to the rushing attack this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was we knew coming into this that we were the new link in the chain. I mean, we were brand new and might have been maybe the weakest link in the chain. And over the games, we proved ourselves that we can run the ball. And last game against Colorado State, we ran the same play maybe 10 times and they couldn't stop it. So we worked hard, and I feel like our hard work has paid off.
Minus the CIC, has the senior year gone the way you would have liked?
I wouldn't have changed it any other way. Yeah, we didn't get the CIC, we didn't beat Army, but man, I've been injured for a long time. Freshman, sophomore, junior year, just been injured, and I've only played 4 games this season, and I'm happy I got to play in that Army game. Some things didn't go our way, went in overtime. It is what it is, but I've left it all on the field, and I have no regrets.
All right, I got to ask something off football.
All
off
right,
the
what's
field.
up?
So you guys always focus on 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to the holidays, Thanksgiving will be here next week, right?
Yes, sir.
But do you look forward to Christmas? Are you one of those guys that looks forward to Christmas even though it's not the next holiday? Do you see what I'm getting at?
No, I see. I'm excited for the bowl game. I mean, this is my last year. I feel like when I was a sophomore or junior, I was injured, and I really wanted to be at those bowl games. Like, I didn't get to go to the Cheez-It Bowl, and that really hurt me because I came here to be with the team, and the team means everything to me, and the players mean everything to me. So not being with the team really hurts. I mean, I would like to be with my family, yes, but, you're never going to find a brotherhood like this. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but the Bolt brotherhood, like your teammates, like it is everything, and it sucks not to be there with them.
So when it comes to a bowl game, and I realize you guys have 2 games before that,
Mm-hmm.
even, no matter where you go, is there going to be an excitement? Because I think some people think it's, oversaturated with too many bowl games. But when you're a player who's getting your first chance to go, is it going to mean everything no matter where you're going?
Oh, yeah, it's going to mean everything. I'm just excited to be a part of the team that goes to a location for, I'm not sure how long we're there for, but just being with the team and feeling that experience of, going to a college bowl game. Like, it's something I've never been before, never done. So I'm excited to be there with my teammates and with the coaches and spend a time that, everybody would like to be home, but spending time with your brothers is something else.
And what was it like just now when you guys all found out your jobs? I mean, was everybody sharing what they got, or was it posted on a board? Like, what is that?
So we have these things called SARs, and we go to and we have like meetings there all the time. And in the SAR, we do like little games. So like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show A Minute to Win It or whatever, shows like that, and we compete against each other. And so when you compete, if you win, you get your job first, and it just goes in the order like that. Some people do it differently. Like sometimes some squads you have to wrestle a dually. So like that's a freshman, you have to wrestle them to get your job, and if you lose, you don't get it, or like they just give it to you last or whatever, or stuff like that. Just some stuff that's funny.
Did you see a lot of excitement from other people? Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
talk to your teammates yet?
No, I haven't talked to them yet. I sort of just got my job and then came right down here because I thought this was important. So I was getting the jobs as well, but no, I haven't really talked to them yet. Which I'm sure they got the jobs that they wanted. You get notified if you don't, so yeah.
And as a lineman, to have a 1,000-yard back, was that one of the goals you guys had marked down, or what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, Brad deserves every yard you got. I mean, he works in the weight room. I mean, we work in the weight room, and I mean, 1,000 yards. Yeah, we got 1,000 yards, but it's not that big of a deal. We're not trying to get 1,000 yards. We're just trying to win games. Rushing yards really don't matter to us. Awards don't matter to us. We're just trying to play ball.
Now, what if he ended up breaking the record for a single season? Because he's in the mix. I mean, he could do that. Would that mean anything to you?
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be cool to be a part of something like that. But, I mean, as I said before, like we're focusing on the games. We're not really trying to break records. That's not what we're here for. We're just here to win and beat the other team each week. But it would be cool. Yeah, it'd be awesome to be a part of something like that.
Okay. One last thing, because I know we got a teammate waiting.
Mm-hmm.
To be part of a program that has produced so many players for Air Force, like what is that like? Are Air Force guys there a lot more often? Like when you were being recruited, were you able to talk to Kyle Johnson and be like, what is it like there? Like, how does that pipeline be built as someone who's part of it?
Yeah. I didn't know what the heck the Air Force Academy was when they offered me. I was like, where is this place? Where is it at? I had no idea. But definitely talking to Jordan, because Jordan went to the P when I was a senior, and Kyle went to his freshman year at the academy, and I got to do two different perspectives of what it was like, and so it was nice to be able to talk to them, and they'd tell me what they're doing and what their daily life is like, and it was a challenge. They told me it's tough, it's gritty. I mean, only the grittiest people will make it through, and only the tough will survive. So I finally understood that when I came prep school in freshman year, and now going into finally my final senior year, I got one more semester, and hopefully I can make it through.
And have you passed that wisdom down to anybody coming up from that school?
Some people have reached out. The kid I mentioned to you at the prep school, his mother reached out, and we sent a response back, but she hasn't responded at all or anything like that. But yeah, I've tried to, and people have asked me. We have another person here. She's a swimmer, and her brother Curtis Gavin texted me and told me that she was coming, and I didn't reach out to her or anything like that, but I probably should have.
Heading on the road to Reno this week. Not only do you guys have a chance to go undefeated on the road this year in true road games, but you're also playing in a game on a Friday night. Just the elements of playing with all that this week, especially coming off of a big game on Saturday night. How are you guys dealing with that?
I mean, I'd say we're dealing with it pretty good. You know, Coach Calhoun takes care of us. We practiced on Sunday, you know, because we had to play a game earlier. But the team's good. You know, everyone's excited to, you know, have another win and stuff. But, yeah, altogether, I wouldn't say much has changed besides just getting after it a day earlier.
When you look at Nevada, what do they bring to the table? What do they present to you guys?
I mean, if you look at their numbers, like they have a amazing like passing offense, kind of like Utah State did, and you know their run game is also well. They throw it in there, surprise you. But you know they're a great team, you know, and we're excited to get to play them.
Do you feel like your job's a little more important this week, just specifically just putting pressure on the quarterback at all?
No, I mean I'd say you know every week it's everyone's job's important. You know, just doing your assignment, doing your job. I mean that's what like Coach Rudd and even Coach Sheridan, like all the coaches, like just emphasizes just make sure you do your job and like playing with 100% effort all the time. So I'm just gonna go after it the same way I do every week and get after them.
When you looked at the film of Nevada, what jumped out?
So like I would just say they just pass a lot more. That's like the number one thing. There's just a lot more passes, a lot of screens, you know, just a lot of different things you can do with the pass game. You know, same with us. Like we do a lot of things with the run game. So it's just stuff like that, like screens, short passes, long passes, just all different types, because that's mainly what they do.
When you watched it, though, was it like, whoa, these guys are pretty good? I mean, did that kind of come across your mind?
I mean, every single team we play, we just kind of have the mindset of, like, they have the capability of beating us, we have the capability of beating them, and so that's kind of the mindset you have to go into so you don't go into a game being too overconfident or not confident enough. So that's just kind of how we've been going at it this week.
But how confident are you that you can slow them down or, you know,
I
contain
mean,
them?
We have to play with confidence as a defense. You know, if you don't play with confidence, then that'll just it's not what you want as a defense. So, you know, we're going to go out there, have confidence in our ability and what the coaches are putting on paper for us to do, and we're going to execute and see what happens.
Now, Carson Strong could be a first-round pick at quarterback. You guys have played Josh Allen and Jared Goff over recent years. Is there a certain excitement as a defensive lineman to have that challenge, to go against somebody you're going to see on Sundays?
Oh, yeah. I would say it's really exciting. You know, it's just like you're just honored kind of. I mean, you see it in the NFL all the time, like rookies just being honored to play against like Tom Brady and stuff. I know it's not in the same like level, but it's still really cool to be able to play against people that will get to play at the next level and stuff. So, yeah, it's really exciting.
And does the scheme shift a little bit, and does your role shift also to help with the run game? Because the safeties so much help with the run game in your defense. Well, they need to help in the pass game, so the run game needs to be secured up front a little more. Like, do things like that have to shift around a little bit?
I'm gonna be honest. They tell me what my job is, and I just do that assignment every play. You know, the safeties have more responsibilities, obviously, but I just whatever keys I get, whatever blocks I get, that's what I have to play off of. So just depending on the play, that's my job. So I wouldn't say that like jobs are shifting or anything. It just depends on what our jobs is that specific week.
And for you personally, to have that sophomore year where you got into the lineup and then you had the year away, how has that helped this year? Now that you had seen everything, had a year to kind of refine some things and work on your body, I would assume, and whatever, and now to come back and put that into place. How has that worked out for you?
I really enjoyed the turn back. I think I needed it just to, gain weight and stuff. And when I was a sophomore, I was really young playing, and, it's really nice to have, like, that experience as a sophomore and coming into my now junior year. So, I think it's helped out a lot just with me playing and stuff.
And what was your weight then and what is it now?
My weight when I was a sophomore, I probably started the season off around 255, 260, and I probably ended at like 260, around 265, and then now I'm playing at like 270, 275, just depending how much I eat that week,
Yeah.
But
And the defensive line, last week you guys obviously had some shifts with Jordan moving to the middle and then a new guy coming in. Like, how has that been, the continuity with guys having to shift roles a little bit this late in the season?
So a lot of, Coach hyped on it last week is that, like, during COVID, like, they had to switch a lot of roles a lot. So, like, a lot of those guys are used to it. Me and Jordan and Kobe Barker and a couple other guys, like, we're the only ones that took turn back in the D-line room. So a lot of them have played different positions and know different positions. So, it wasn't that much of a shocker.